Ozzy Osbourne is one of rock music's most recognizable figures, famous not only for his pioneering role in heavy metal, but also for a life steeped in tragedy, addiction, and near-miraculous survival stories. Born on December 3, 1948, in the working-class district of Aston in Birmingham, England, Ozzy grew up surrounded by poverty and daily hardships. Early on, he suffered relentless bullying and struggled with dyslexia, setting the stage for a life often punctuated by turmoil. While his eventual fame as the Prince of Darkness would make him a global icon, Ozzy's personal battles continuously threatened to overshadow his artistry. What follows is an exploration of the many tribulations this rock legend faced, from his tumultuous childhood to the precarious existence he carved out in the world of music. Ozzy Osbourne's formative years were fraught with challenges that left lasting scars. Growing up in a small, cramped home, he found little solace at school, where his reading difficulties invited ridicule from peers. Bullied from age 11 by two older classmates who subjected him to traumatic abuse, Ozzy carried deep emotional wounds. At 14, despair led him to attempt self-harm, only to be harshly beaten by his father once he was discovered. By 15, Ozzy dropped out of school altogether. He drifted between low-paying jobs and petty crime until, at 17, he was jailed for 2 months on burglary charges, an experience that might have embittered him further if not for his abiding love of music. Shortly after his release, he placed an ad in a local newspaper. Ozzy Zig, vocalist, requires band, owns own PA. This marked the foundation of the group that would transform into Black Sabbath in the late 1960s. The band's self-titled debut album in 1970 introduced a dark, heavy style that rewrote the rules of rock music. As Black Sabbath rose in notoriety, Ozzy seemed poised to enjoy the spoils of stardom. Yet personal demons followed him. He married Thelma Riley and became a father, but his propensity for substance abuse and infidelity eroded both his marriage and his band. In 1979, Ozzy's chaotic behavior spurred his bandmates to fire him, plunging him into a destructive haze. Chance would intervene when Ozzy encountered guitarist Randy Rhoads in 1979. Their collaboration revitalized his passion for performance. The release of Blizzard of Oz in 1980 was a triumphant solo debut, but in 1981, Ozzy's bizarre exploits made headlines. At a CBS meeting, he drunkenly bit the heads off 2 live doves. The following year, at a concert in Des Moines, Iowa, he famously bit the head off what he believed was a toy bat, only to discover it was real. He required immediate hospital treatment for rabies shots. Such incidents bolstered his wild man image, but also underscored the extremes of his substance-fueled lifestyle. Far darker tragedies struck that same year. During the Diary of a Madman tour, the band's pilot and tour bus driver, Andrew Aycock, went on a cocaine binge. Early one morning, he took guitarist Randy Rhoads and makeup artist Rachel Youngblood on a small plane ride that ended in a fatal crash. Ozzy, who lost one of the greatest guitarists of his generation, would later describe that day as the worst in his life, mourning Rhoads' death at only 25. Professionally, Ozzy soldiered on, releasing more albums through the 1980s, Bark at the Moon, The Ultimate Sin, and No Rest for the Wicked. Still, his personal life remained in disarray. His first marriage to Thelma ended in 1982, a separation he would regret for years. Later that same year, he married Sharon Arden, Black Sabbath's manager's daughter. Yet substance abuse did not abate. In fact, controversies multiplied, including lawsuits from families claiming his music incited suicide, and an infamous 1989 incident in which, during an alcoholic blackout, Ozzy attempted to strangle Sharon. Court-ordered rehab followed, but it wouldn't be his last. Time and again, his addictions threatened to unravel his life. Adding to the chaos, Sharon discovered multiple infidelities, each revelation driving a deeper wedge into their relationship. Despite all, Ozzy's resilience astounded fans. Episodes that could have ended another artist's career instead propelled him further into legend. Even a near-fatal ATV accident in 2003, which left him in a coma and severely injured, did little to diminish his reputation as rock's invulnerable anti-hero. Although doctors found that he was consuming over 40 prescription pills a day, Ozzy carried on. Genetic tests later revealed he had a unique mutation that rendered him unusually tolerant of drugs and alcohol, a biological quirk that might explain how he managed to survive his many ordeals. By 2019, decades of bodily abuse caught up with Ozzy when he dislodged metal rods in his spine, first implanted after his ATV crash. Chronic pain and a diagnosis of PRKN2, a form of Parkinson's disease, ushered in another wave of canceled tours and health scares. While rumors circulated that Ozzy lay on his deathbed, he and Sharon clarified that Parkinson's needn't be a death sentence, though it certainly requires constant vigilance. For a man who once found solace in inebriation, these health issues opened a new chapter in which day-to-day existence posed the bigger challenge. Throughout his life, Ozzy Osbourne has danced precariously on the edge, where addiction, violence, and near tragedy have often run parallel to his staggering musical success. From a bullied, dyslexic kid in Birmingham to frontman of Black Sabbath and eventual solo icon, he has repeatedly defied the odds, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Surviving accidents, lawsuits, and unspeakable personal losses, Ozzy nonetheless carved out a 50-year legacy that reshaped heavy metal and mesmerized millions. Today, as he grapples with Parkinson's and residual injuries, the Prince of Darkness stands as a testament to human endurance. His story, defined by heartbreak, reinvention, and occasional brushes with redemption, may serve as both cautionary tale and unflinching tribute to the power of perseverance.